Start off right away with the loss to Cape Breton in the semifinal. Was that a case where you guys felt like you didn't play well, or was that just one very good Cape Breton team?
I think it's a combination of both. I think we had a small margin for error if we were going to be successful in that game. And I think really Cape Breton came out and played extremely well in the first quarter. They made some shots. We made a series of mistakes that allowed them to get off to a great start. And they really took advantage of that. We were down 13 or 14. We gave up 28 in the first 10 minutes. And for us to overcome that against a team as capable as Cape Breton is very difficult. And so, I think certainly a lot of the mistakes we made were a result of great defensive energy from them. So, I'm disappointed, but I think you have to look at how good they are. And, we certainly can't, it's not a shoulda, coulda, woulda situation. I think they were fully deserved the victory.
Do you feel like with Simon, do you feel like you had that 1-2 punch? Do you think Joe Scow gave you guys a legitimate 1-2 punch?
Certainly at times I think we did a good job of getting the two of them going. But I think we definitely probably needed to have more consistent play around Simon to really be successful against the best teams. And I think by the end of it, he was getting so much attention that while he was able to still statistically do a good job, and clearly he was the key for us, I think he had to work very hard to do that. And I think our inability to get consistent scoring from and not necessarily from Joe's position, because I think Joe's averages were quite good, but certainly from our 3-4 spots, we were a little bit inconsistent. And, Sullivan, I think, really elevated his play down the stretch, which is great. It's great for a fifth-year guy to be able to feel as though he was playing his best basketball of the season when it mattered most. And, it goes along hand in hand, I think, with the individual awards he got for sort of his all-round contributions, too. So that's good. But we definitely, if we're going to compete with the elite teams, in our conference and in probably in the country, we need to find more consistent scoring outside of Simon.
Keeping with Andrew Sullivan, kind of that one guy, the 1/5-year senior you're losing. What do you think Andrew Sullivan's legacy will be at Dalhousie? What will you remember about Andrew Sullivan?
Well, I think he's done a lot to really help to establish and cultivate the culture, I think, of our program. He's a great example of what we're looking to recruit as a student athlete. He's excelled on the floor. He's had a great career in the classroom, and his contributions outside of those two areas are incredible, and they're inspiring, I think, not only for other players but also for the coaching staff. When you see somebody who's that giving of their time and that concern with society itself, I think, even as a coach who's been around 20 years, I think you get motivated and inspired by that kind of selflessness.
Were you surprised at the number 2 seed, and B, do you think they have a good chance there at Nationals?
No, I don't think I was that surprised with the seedings, and you're never sure with the seedings if the actual number of the seeding is as important as when they try and just manipulate matchups, I think, to get what they feel is the fairest matchups, and especially with respect to the regional association. So, I wasn't surprised to see them number 2 or to have the matchup with Calgary. I thought it was going to be a Calgary-Cape Breton matchup, whether it was 3-6 or 2-7. I think it's a good matchup for Cape Breton in the sense that I think Cape Breton physically has the size and the strength to match up with Calgary, and has some athleticism in the backcourt that can cause, and in the front court that can cause Calgary some problems. Certainly that at least matches up at an even level for them. So I think it's a good matchup for them. I think if they play as well as they've played over the past weekend, then they're going to have an opportunity with anyone in the country. And the biggest thing about them was their ability to make shots when it counted, and if they're able to carry that forward, then again they're going to be a tough out, I think.
From an AUS perspective, is there any conversation among you guys, the coaches and what have you, that the X didn't get enough consideration for that wild card, or do you think UBC is a very deserving wild card?
I think they're very deserving. I haven't talked to any other AUS coaches. I heard that the discussions around the wild card were very close in the statistical criteria that they look at. I think the numbers were very close. I didn't look at it that closely. Based on our season, we didn't apply for a wild card, right. And so I was more of a fan, and because we're running March break camp this week, I was actually a little more concerned with getting home and getting March break camp organized before I go and become a spectator at the Nationals. But I've heard that it was very close. I think X had a great season. I'm sure the loss at the end of the conference play to St. Mary's had an impact overall on the numbers. It's very difficult, I think, to compare seasons of two teams who both had great seasons, on opposite ends of the country with very few common opponents, if any, and very little cross-conference play. And I think if you don't win your conference tournament, you're really at that point just becoming hopeful. And I'm not sure they could have gone wrong in either choice. I think X is a very good team who would represent our league very well, and I think UBC is a very good team. They're not an easy matchup, and so I think I think the committee probably did a great job. St. Mary's played very, very well, and I think we're definitely deserving of a better fate. I think in some ways when that call was made, I sort of hoped that he would make one free throw and they would go to overtime and settle it in the 5 minutes, as opposed to with no time on the clock on the free throw line. I think when you look at St. Mary's, I thought they played so well down the stretch. Having beat X the week before. Splitting with us. I thought they were playing very good basketball, and you could see sort of the disappointment in Ike's face on the TV coverage. I think it's a tough way for guys to end their careers, and it's a shame. I definitely felt at the end of our game very disappointed, but after watching the next game, at least you felt as though our fate was very deserved. Breton was clearly the better team in our game, and as disappointed as you can be in that, there's definitely no controversy associated with it. So, I think it was a shame, and it's too bad for Joey. He had a great season, and was a tremendous player. And looking at his stats, with Lockhill have been considered an All-Canadian because, I think he was huge for his team.